My name is Ranjit Alalaki Segaran. I'm from DPC 1B, and my topic for today is sexual harassment. By the way, my matrix number is 33 DPC 20F1037. In order to learn about sexual harassment, we need to know what is it first. And from the survey that I did from Wikipedia, it stated that sexual harassment is a type of harassment involving the use of explicit or implicit sexual overtones, including the unwelcome or inappropriate promises of rewards in exchange for sexual favors. Sexual harassment includes a range of actions from verbal transgressions to sexual abuse or assault. Harassment can occur in different social settings such as workplace, at home, school, churches, etc. Harassers or victims may be one of any gender. What are the causes? Firstly, the main reason of an individual being sexually harassed is lust. Lust plays the biggest part in this problem because why? Lust what creates a person to think being sexually to other person, and if the person is cannot take it in, which means though we called it as sexual harassment. Secondly, the power game. The advantage of a gender creates the situation for the sexual harassment. As we can see, mostly women are sexually harassed by men. This is because men are physically more stable and have more control, whereas the women are only mentally controlled and physically they cannot do anything. Which means this is an advantage for a man take charges on a woman by sexually harassing them without even worrying about anything. Thirdly, lack of moral values. Moral value is another important role in a human. Human needs moral values in order to live, and if a person doesn't have moral values, things such as sexually harassing people will happen. How to identify one? Sexual harassment can be varied, and to identify one, here are some examples. Which includes physical acts of sexual assault or requests for sexual favors. You will ask the person for sexual favors, or verbal harassment of sexual nature, including jokes referring to sexual acts or sexual orientation. Even if you make a sexual joke to a person and it doesn't make them feel comfortable, it also identified as a sexual harassment. Unwanted touching or physical contact, unwelcome sexual advances, discussing sexual relations, stories, and fantasies at work, school, or in any other inappropriate places, feeling pressure to engage with someone sexually, exposing oneself to performing sexual acts on oneself, and unwanted sexually explicit photos, email, or text messages. What are the effects? There are a lot of effects for the person who is sexually harassed. This includes physiological reactions and psychological reactions. Physiological reactions include headaches, gastrointestinal distress, sleep disturbance, and even nightmares. And if we go more advanced, we can call it as lethargy, dermatological reactions, weight fluctuations, sexual problems, phobias, panic reactions. Psychological reactions includes depression, anxiety, shock, denial, confusion, feelings of being powerless, anger, fear, frustration, blah 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 blah. This creates a lot of problems to a person, and these effects can be very dangerous, and it even might include them to take charges which is suicide attempt. So this is actually a big problem for the community. So how to prevent? In order to prevent sexual assault, we the first thing first, it's not about the person who need to protect them from the harassing people. It's about we building up a person for not sexually harassing a person. This includes parents are the main role for the for the children to grow older, and since they grow older they have to teach moral values and some morals to the children. They need to teach why sexual harassment is a bad thing and how we should take care of people and not sexually harassing them. We need to teach them how to act to a person when they are alone, or they are seeking for help, or we just want to help them. And uh, and the person who trying to harass another person should think, why do we need to harass them? If they have moral values they should think, and since they don't, that's why we call it sexual harassment. and this is the part from the sexual harassing people. And since some of these things still happens, these are the times where we have to protect ourselves from the sexual harassments, which includes we should share any incident of sexual harassment to other person so that they can help us in any way. And secondly, we have to attract attention from others whenever we are sexually harassed. As an example, if you are being alone and a person try to sexually harass you, you should first seek for people, or you even can give a shout help. They will come and support you at the time, which means you are away from the sexual harassing person. And then always keep a friend around you. If you're going lonely anywhere, alone, walking to house, to going to school, I think you should have a person around you. This is because the more person you have around you, the less people try to sexually harass you. And last but not least, we must reconsider in choosing friends. This is can go in both ways. One, we need to know our friends have good moral values so that they don't act weirdly to us and they might even sexually harass us. Secondly, we need to choose friends who has good moral values so that we don't build ourselves for sexually harass people, because if our friends is a bad person, so do we, because we follow them. And so if they sexually harass people, so do we. And what if you're stuck in a situation, if a person sexually harass you in your house, in your workplace, or anywhere, and you are lonely? Don't get pressured. First thing first, don't get pressured, and try to explain to them that you are not physically ready for ready for sexually abused or sexually harassed. If they doesn't hear what you're trying to say, slowly move away from the person. And if they didn't even leave you from that moment of time, seek for a friend. Even if not is a friend, go for a stranger. You just suddenly act nice to them, thinking that they are your friends. Then they will know that you are in a problem somewhat. So this and then if things get out of control, seek a person for help. Just shout, I need help. Of course, people gonna come near you and they're gonna help you somehow. And you even can go get the hotline for sexually harassed person. And don't and final but not least, don't get mentally mistaken, because you have to be physically strong and mentally strong.